Many years ago, in the village of Umoma, lived a young lady named Awele. Awele was the pride and joy of her parents. Growing up, she was admired by all for her humility, modesty, and impeccable manners. Her beauty was undeniable, but it was her character that truly set her apart. Unlike many girls her age who giggled and frolicked about with boys or spent hours gossiping, Awele focused on helping her parents and would never go a meter close to any man. "Your daughter is a rare gem," neighbors would often say to her mother. "If I had a son, I would make sure he rushes to marry her before another man does." Mama Awele would smile with pride, but would always reply modestly, "Thank you, but it is all by God's grace. We are only trying to raise her well." At 27 years old, Awele had maintained her dignity. She never gave in to the advances of men who constantly tried to win her favor. "I am not ready for a relationship," she would say, politely turning them down. Her decision was not born out of fear or disdain, but of careful thoughts. She had promised herself that she would save her heart and her body for the man who would one day become her husband. One sunny afternoon, Awele was pounding yam in the backyard when her mother called her inside. "Awele, come here," her mother called out cheerfully. "I'm coming, Mama," Awele replied. Her mother's face was filled with excitement. "Sit down, Awele. I have good news for you." "What is it, Mama?" Awele asked curiously. "There is a young man who lives in the city who is asking for your hand in marriage. He is a responsible businessman. His auntie already showed him your picture and he is interested in meeting you." Awele's eyes widened in shock. "Me? Marriage?" "Yes, my daughter," her mother replied gently. "His name is Paulo. He is a good man, from a good family too. He is very hardworking, and his auntie says he has been searching for a woman with your kind of values. He's coming to see you next week." Awele was both surprised and confused at the news. She had never entertained the thoughts of marriage to happen so suddenly. "Mama, I don't know this man. What if we don't get along?" "That is why he wants to meet you first," her mother reassured. "You don't have to say yes immediately. Just meet him first. If you don't like him, we won't force you." After a moment of thought, Awele nodded. "All right, Mama, I'll meet him." Meanwhile, in Lagos, Paulo sat in his living room staring at the picture of Awele that his auntie had sent him. At 35 years, he had built a successful logistics business and enjoyed the fruits of his labor. But despite his achievements, he stayed away from relationships, haunted by stories of deceit and heartbreak among his fellow men. "Marriage is not for everybody," Paulo often said when his friends teased him about his single status. "I would rather have my peace of mind than deal with unnecessary drama." But his auntie, Auntie Ngozi, would not give up. "Paulo, there are still good girls out there," she insisted. "In fact, I know one. Her name is Awele. She's from my village and she's everything you would ever need. She's pure and well-mannered. Everyone in the village respects her, not like those city girls you have been seeing." Paulo rolled his eyes, but when Auntie Ngozi showed him Awele's picture, curiosity overtook him. Her composure in the picture intrigued him. "All right," he said, "I'll meet her." The day finally came and Paulo arrived in Umuoma in his black SUV, dressed in an elegant white shirt and dark trousers. Paulo stepped out of the car and was welcomed by Awele's parents. After exchanging pleasantries, they invited him to sit under the shade of a mango tree in their compound. Awele then joined. For a moment, there was silence. Then Paulo spoke up. Awele, I have heard so much about you from my auntie. She speaks highly of your character, and I can see that she wasn't exaggerating. Awele smiled shyly. Thank you, sir. Please call me Paulo, he corrected. They began to talk, and Paulo asked her about her life in the village and her dreams. Awele answered him honestly, and her calm and respectful tone left a positive impression on him. As they spoke, Awele too noticed something she hadn't expected. Paulo wasn't just a regular rich city guy. He was humble, kind, and attentive. After an hour of talking, Paulo went to Awele's parents. Thank you for allowing me to meet your daughter. She's everything my auntie described and more. I would like to get to know her better, if that is all right with you. Papa Ezinne smiled. You are welcome, Paulo. We are glad you've come. Subsequently, Paulo visited Awele's family's house regularly. They spent hours talking and getting to know each other better. And it did not take long before Paulo decided to take the bold step. Awele agreed to his marriage plans, and they had a beautiful wedding ceremony in the village. The first night after the wedding had been an emotional one for Awele. She was nervous and sat on the edge of the bed, unsure of what to expect. Paulo entered the room and he could feel the tension around her. Awele, you don't need to be afraid. I am not here to rush you. We'll take this one step at a time. Awele turned to him embarrassed. I am sorry, Paulo. I don't know what to expect. I have never... Paulo smiled. I know, Awele, and that is okay. We are in this together. Awele soon relaxed and allowed him closer, and what Paulo discovered left him in awe. Wait, are you really... You're 27 and you're still a virgin? Awele nodded shyly. I have always wanted to give this as a gift to my husband. I didn't think it was a big deal. Paulo stared at her and his heart swelled with admiration. It is a very big deal, Awele. Thank you for trusting me. You have given me something precious, and I promise to cherish you forever. From that night, their bond grew stronger. Paulo treated Awele like a queen, and Awele devoted herself to being the best wife she could be. She quickly adapted to marital life, and together they built a home filled with love, laughter, and peace. As time passed, Paulo and Awele eagerly anticipated the arrival of their first child. But when months turned into a year without any sign of pregnancy, a little worry began to creep in. Maybe it is just taking time, Paulo said one evening as they lay in bed. These things happen, you know. I hope so, Awele replied softly. Mama keeps asking me if I have taken in. I don't know what to tell her anymore. Just tell her not to worry, Paulo said. It will happen when the time is right. But privately, Paulo couldn't ignore the dark doubts. He had always heard that virgins were highly fertile and would usually get pregnant at their first meeting if they were ovulating at the time. So, why was Awele's case different? As the first year rolled on, Awele's mother couldn't hold back her impatience anymore. She called Awele every month. My daughter, is there any news yet? Have you seen the signs? No, Mama, Awele said sadly. But don't worry, we are praying about it. Her mother sighed. You need to try harder. Oh. Don't let people start talking. After every call with her mother, Awele would feel the weight on her shoulders. Paulo noticed her distress and tried to comfort her. Don't let anyone pressure you, Awele. We are in this together. They don't understand how hard we are trying. But when another year passed with no pregnancy, Paulo decided it was time to seek medical advice. Awele, I think we should go to the hospital just to make sure everything is fine. Awele thought for a while. Do you think something is wrong with us? It is not about something being wrong, Paulo reassured her. It is just to be sure. Sometimes little things can delay pregnancy and doctors can help. Awele nodded. Okay then, let's go. Paulo took Awele to a top fertility specialist in the city. The hospital was clean and modern, with a team of friendly staff who guided them through the process. Both Paulo and Awele underwent a series of tests, answering detailed questions about their medical histories and lifestyle habits. The tests were thorough, and after hours of examinations, the doctor told them to return in a week for the results. We will call you when the results are ready. The week was the longest ever for Paulo and Awele as they awaited the results of their fertility tests. The days dragged slowly and they became more anxious, but neither of them could have imagined the bombshell that was about to hit their world. When the day finally came, they sat side by side in the doctor's office as the doctor reviewed their files. He finally looked up. Mr. and Mrs. Paulo, before I proceed, I want to confirm that it is okay to discuss the results here in front of you both. Yes, please go ahead, Paulo said, and Awele nodded. The doctor then opened the folder. Let me start with the good news. Mr. Paulo, your results show no issues. Your fertility is perfectly normal. Paulo exhaled in relief, but the doctor's face remained serious as he turned to Awele. Mrs. Paulo, your results are more complicated. After running multiple tests, we found out that your womb is not functional. It has shrunk and become flabby, which means it is incapable of supporting a pregnancy. Awele's heart stopped. She stared at the doctor. What? What does that mean? The doctor continued. This condition isn't something recent. From the state of your womb, it appears that it has been developing for over a long period of time. Unfortunately, it is a permanent condition and there is no medical procedure that can reverse it. The words hit Paulo and Awele like a thunderclap. The air seemed to seize around them as they struggled to breathe. Paulo finally broke the silence. How is that possible? She's young, she's healthy, and she was a virgin until marriage. How can this happen? The doctor sighed. Sometimes conditions like this develop gradually over time. It could be due to hormonal imbalances, but the root cause of this is not clear. Mrs. Paulo, can you remember anything from your past that could have led to this? Awele shook her head and wept bitterly. I have never done anything wrong. I married as a virgin. Paulo, you know that isn't true, right? She turned to her husband for him to confirm her claim, but Paulo looked away. Suddenly, he turned to the doctor. Doctor, are you sure about this? Could there have been a mix-up in the tests? The doctor shook his head. We ran the tests multiple times to ensure accuracy. The results are conclusive. Mrs. Paulo's womb is not capable of carrying a child. Paulo leaned back in his chair with his hands on his head. This is why I didn't want to get married. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Now this. Awele of all people, my virgin wife has no womb. Of course, it is as good as saying she has no womb because what use is a womb that is not working? Problem. The drive home was silent. Paulo gripped the steering wheel tightly as multiple thoughts filled his head, while Awele sat beside him, weeping quietly. Awele then tried to speak. Paulo, don't, Paulo interrupted her harshly. Just don't say anything right now. But immediately they arrived home, Paulo stormed into the house without waiting for Awele. She followed slowly, and as soon as she entered the living room, he turned on her with anger and frustration. All right, Awele, start talking. What are you hiding? Awele looked at him in confusion. Hiding? I am not hiding anything, Paulo. I don't understand this, just like you don't. But Paulo's voice grew louder. Don't lie to me, Awele. Did you deceive me? Did you know about this before we got married? No, Awele cried, shaking her head. I swear, I didn't know. I have never had any problems before. My cycle was always normal. Paulo wasn't convinced. Then explain this. Did someone use your womb for rituals? Did you follow those rich boys even if you didn't sleep with them? Awele, make this make sense. Awele stared at him horrified. Paulo, how can you say that? You know I have never spoken to any man before you. Then how do you explain this? Paulo shouted. How does a womb just stop working if you didn't tamper with it? You were supposed to be perfect, Awele. That is why I married you. The words cut Awele's heart deeply. She sank to the floor, crying uncontrollably. I don't know, Paulo. I don't know what went wrong. Paulo paced the room angrily. This is unbelievable. I was careful. I avoided marriage for so long because I didn't want to deal with something like this. And now this? From you of all people, why me? Paulo said before storming out of the house angrily. Awele sat on the floor and cried uncontrollably. She could see her world crumbling around her. With shaking hands, she picked up her phone and called her mother. Mama, it's me. Awele, what is it? Her mother asked curiously. Mama, it is bad. Awele began, struggling to hold back her tears. Paulo is very angry. We went to the hospital and the doctor said my womb is damaged. He says it has been like this for a long time and I can't have children. Paulo thinks I deceived him. What? Her mother exclaimed. How can that be? You've never had any problems before. Are you sure about this? The doctor confirmed it, Mama. I don't know what to do. Paulo doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm hiding something. Her mother took a deep breath. My daughter, calm down. I know you. I know you've done nothing wrong. I will come to your house immediately. Don't worry. We'll figure this out. Meanwhile, Paulo found himself at a bar, a place he had not visited since he got married. He called two of his old friends, Tunde and Mike, and asked them to join him. When they arrived, they immediately noticed his distressed state. Paulo, what is going on? Tunde asked. You look like you've been through hell. I have, Paulo said, and took a long sip of his drink. It is Awele, my wife. We went to the hospital to find out why she hasn't gotten pregnant. And the doctor said her womb is damaged. She can't have children. Mike's eyes widened. Damaged? How? Did she have an accident or something? Paulo shook his head. The doctor said it has been like that for a long time. He even hinted that something might have caused it, something she did or took. Tunde leaned back and crossed his arms. Paulo, are you sure she's telling you the truth? Women can be very secretive. Maybe she knows more than she's saying. But Mike didn't think so. Come on, Tunde. Not all women are like that. Maybe she was born with it and she didn't know. Paulo slammed his glass on the table. She couldn't have been born with it. The doctor said it is shrunken, like something caused it over time. I thought I married the perfect woman. I trusted her. Tunde leaned forward. Look, Paulo, you need to confront her. Make her tell you the truth. If she deceived you, you have every right to walk away. Mike sighed. Or maybe you should calm down and try to figure this out together. Sometimes things aren't what they seem. But Paulo didn't respond. His mind was spinning like a wheel. By the time he returned home, it was already late. The lights in the living room were still on, and he saw Awele sitting with her mother. They both looked up as he entered, but Paulo didn't say a word. He walked past them and went straight to the bedroom, locking the door behind him. Mama Awele turned to Awele. My daughter, this is serious. I can see the pain in his eyes. But you need to hold on. Don't let this destroy your marriage. Awele nodded, but her tears continued to flow. Mama, what if he never believes me? What if this is the end? Don't say that, her mother corrected. We will fix this. God will not allow your home to break apart. After a few moments of silence, Awele's mother stood up and walked to the bedroom door. She knocked gently. Paulo, my son, it is me. Please open the door. There was no response. She knocked again, louder this time. Paulo, please, I need to speak with you. After several minutes of silence, the door opened and she went in. What do you want, Mama? She sat on a chair. Paulo, I know you are angry. I know you are hurt, but please don't let the devil destroy your home. Awele is a good girl. She has never deceived anyone in her life. Paulo smiled bitterly. Then how do you explain this? Her womb is damaged. She can't have children. How does that just happen? I don't know, Awele's mother admitted, but I know my daughter. I can swear with my life that she has never done anything wrong. Please, give her one more chance. Let's go to another hospital and get to the root of this. Paulo looked away, but after a long pause, he said, Fine, go to another hospital. Do whatever you need to do. But I can't go with you. It is too embarrassing. I can only give you money for it. Thank you, my son, she said. You won't regret this. The next morning, Paulo handed Awele and her mother enough money to cover their medical expenses. Take this, he said coldly. Do what you need to do. Thank you, Paulo, Awele's mother said. We will surely find out the truth. Paulo didn't respond. He simply turned and walked away, leaving Awele standing there. She looked up at her mother with despair. Mama, what if he never forgives me? But her mother pulled her into a hug. He will, my daughter. Once we find the truth, everything will be okay. Trust me. At the hospital, the doctor listened attentively to their story, and after reviewing Awele's test results, he shook his head. This is unusual. We don't have the facilities to handle such a case here. I will refer you to another specialist. They left the hospital and headed to the next one, where they were met with the same response. Each doctor they met seemed baffled by Awele's condition, and the constant referrals wore them down. By the fourth day, Awele was emotionally drained. Mama, maybe we should just stop. No one seems to know what is wrong with me. No, Awele, we can't give up. The truth is out there. We just need to find the right person to help us. On the fifth day, they arrived at a small private clinic recommended by one of the specialists they had visited. The clinic was quiet, and the receptionist ushered them in quickly when she heard it was an emergency. Dr. Adobe, a gynecologist with a calm and empathetic attitude, welcomed them into her office. Good afternoon. Please sit down and tell me everything. Awele's mother launched into the story, explaining Awele's journey from her marriage to the shocking discovery at the fertility hospital. Dr. Adobe listened with full concentration. This doesn't sound like a congenital issue, she said thoughtfully. It is more likely that something external caused this condition. But let me examine her first. The examination took hours. Dr. Adobe ran multiple tests and studied Awele's hormone levels closely. By the time they were done, it was late afternoon. When they returned to the doctor's office, she began to explain her findings. Awele, your hormone levels are not balanced. I would need you to answer questions about your menstrual history. Hopefully, we can trace it from there. When did you see your menstrual flow last? When did you first see it? At what age? Have you always been writing it down to know how regular it was? For the past 1 year, have you seen it consistently? Awele gave the correct answers to all the questions, and so, since the doctor had ruled out all chances of recent occurrences, she proceeded to ask questions concerning her teenage life. She turned to Awele's mother. Just to confirm, are you her mother? Awele's mother nodded. Okay then, I would need you to assist in some of the questions in case Awele might not easily remember what happened when she was younger. When exactly did Awele see her menstrual flow? Her mother answered, at 11 years old. Okay, and how many days did it last? 4 days. And which month was that? March. Okay, then the remaining months of that year, did she see it regularly? Awele's mother thought for a while and then replied, she didn't see it for like 4 months and then it came out again in August. So it was only twice she saw it that year. Dr. Adobe looked up skeptically. Okay, so when you noticed this, what did you do? Did you take her to the hospital for treatment? Awele's mother shook her head. No, I took her to a traditional healer who usually treated fertility issues, and they gave her some herbal mixtures which helped to improve it. Dr. Adobe asked curiously, what exactly did she give to her? Awele's mother replied casually, it's all this normal herbal mixture that we usually take to treat our infections. But Dr. Adobe cut her off. With all due respect, ma, it is not normal. Don't say that next time. How long did she take this mixture for? Awele's mother nodded and then said, she started drinking it that same year, September, and she drank it every day until her menstrual flow started to flow normally. That was in February of the next year. After then, she would only take it 1 week before her expected menstrual flow. She drank it until she was 16 years old. Dr. Adobe then turned to Awele and asked, is this true? Can you remember drinking such? Awele nodded. Dr. Adobe then sighed and told them that in order to rule out every chance, she would like to get some of those herbal mixture so as to get them tested. I don't know if this is possible since it happened a long time ago. But Awele's mother answered, that is not a problem. I can go back to the healer and ask for a new one if that is okay. Dr. Adobe nodded. Okay, I believe some of the ingredients would remain the same over time in spite of possible improvements. By the time they returned home, it was already late, and then very early the next morning, Awele's mother set out to go to the village. Fortunately, she met the healer woman and pleaded with her to give her the same mixture she gave to Awele years ago for her irregular menstruation. The woman agreed and proceeded to cook it. It would cook for 12 hours. So, the next morning, Awele's mother went to collect it before returning to the city. Awele went to the hospital with her mother and they submitted the herbal mixture for examination. 2 hours later, Dr. Adobe walked in with the test results in her hands. She took a deep breath before speaking. I have the results of the herbal mixture. I'm afraid it confirms my earlier suspicions. The mixture contains toxic substances that severely tampered with Awele's hormonal balance. If she had used it for only a short period, maybe the harm wouldn't have been this severe. But the prolonged usage caused her womb to shrink and become flaccid. Unfortunately, this condition is irreversible. Awele's mother almost choked on her breath. Ah, doctor, please tell me it is not true. I destroyed my daughter's life? No, please. What have I done? It was supposed to help her now. I thought I was doing the right thing. How could this happen? Dr. Adobe tried to console her. Mama, I understand your pain, but it is important to remain calm. What is done is done. Blaming yourself won't change anything. Awele sat motionless, Her world felt like it was collapsing around her. She opened her mouth to speak, but her words were breaking. Doctor, what are my chances? There has to be a solution, right? I can't be hopeless. Dr. Adobe looked at her pitifully. Awele, the chances of reversing this are slim. The damage has been there for over a decade. Even medications might make things worse for you because your body has likely developed antibodies that attack certain drugs. Surgery isn't a solution either, except to remove the womb entirely, and that wouldn't help you conceive. The weight of those words landed on Awele like a mountain. She stood up suddenly and staggered towards the door. Awele, her mother called after her and rushed to catch her, but Awele kept walking as her tears poured down her face. When they arrived home, Awele could no longer hold back her emotions. She collapsed onto the floor and cried uncontrollably. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? I kept myself for so long. And this is how it ends? Mama, why didn't you just take me to a hospital back then? Her mother knelt beside her, holding her tightly. I am sorry, my daughter. I didn't know. I thought I was helping you. Please forgive me. Awele shook her head. What is the point of my life now, Mama? Paulo will never forgive me. My marriage is over, and I will never be a mother. Her mother had no words to say. She simply held her daughter and cried with her. Later that evening, Awele's mother took the test results to Paulo. He was sitting at the dining table. These are the results, she said quietly. The doctor confirmed that it was some herbal mixture I gave her when she was younger. It was my fault. She didn't do anything wrong. Paulo opened the envelope and scanned the reports. As he read, he swallowed hard. He suddenly banged his fists on the table, making his mother-in-law shift back in fear. What nonsense is this? He shouted. Who did I offend? Why did I have to get involved in such a problem? Paulo, please, she begged. Don't give up on Awele. She loves you. This is my fault, not hers. But Paulo stood up abruptly and stormed out of the house. He drove aimlessly and finally ended up at a bar, ordering drink after drink. As he drank, any woman he saw seemed to him like an ugly monster full of problems. He didn't want to set eyes on any woman again, so he asked to go to the private section of the bar. As the alcohol flowed, his thoughts grew darker. The only thing that kept ringing in his head was that he would never be a father. He had never been a supporter of polygamy, so getting a second wife was out of the option. He also had never subscribed to adoption. What if he got unlucky again and adopted a child with hidden congenital issues or genetic problems? What was the chances it would not end up like Awele's case? She was so perfect to have this kind of issue. Oh Lord, you know I didn't bargain for this. I was going to remain single all my life. I don't have strength for these marital problems. Why would you let this happen to me? Paulo drank until he could no longer drink, and eventually he fell asleep at the bar. The next morning, Paulo woke up with a pounding headache, but he knew what he had to do. He drove home where Awele and her mother were waiting anxiously. I have made my decision, Paulo said as he sat down. I am no longer interested in this marriage. I can't do this. I would rather remain single and live stress-free than go through a lifetime of this trauma. I never wanted to marry in the first place, and this situation proves that I was right. Awele's eyes filled with tears. Paulo, please, don't do this. I love you. I didn't choose this. But Paulo shook his head. Love isn't enough, Awele. I wanted a family, children, But that is not possible now. So what is the point? Mama Awele joined in to beg. Paulo, please, don't let this destroy your home. You can adopt. There are other ways. No, Paulo said bluntly. This is my final decision. I want both of you out of my house by the time I return. Awele and her mother packed their belongings in silence, too broken to say a word. As they boarded the bus back to the village, Awele stared out of the window with a heavy heart. This is it. My life suddenly ended before it even began. This is the end. No redemption. No room for a second chance. The lifelong sacrifice was all for nothing. Hi besties, what are your thoughts about the story? Have you experienced something like this before? What was the outcome? Was it milder or even worse? For me, I have experienced a worse outcome that led to death, and so I will always be a firm advocate of caution and moderation. Many people blindly consume any mixture just because it was advertised to be able to cure a particular disease. Of course, that mixture might be effective and actually cure what you got it for. But what if, just what if it ends up causing even a more fatal damage to the body than what it cured? So, I would say, desist from them. And well, if you can't, then practice moderation, because too much of everything is bad. Don't go on taking these things for months, years, and not expect repercussions. Don't forget to share the story out to as much people as possible. You never can tell. You might be saving someone. Give the story a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye!